Edgar TV. Hello and welcome to Edgar TV, where today I'm going to touch on one of the most important topics and one of the topics I get asked about so many times, and I thought, well, what better way to answer this than to do a little video. So the question I get is, how much do I practice? How much should you practice? How much does he practice? How much do you need to practice to get better at darts? First thing I need to do is tell you that this is an educational based video. Watch it in its entirety, take out the bits that are relevant to you. Now, I say this because already I'm telling you, do not press that plus 15-second button. I know you're tempted to do so already because it's been past the 45-second mark and you want the quick fix answer. Why I bring up that 45-second mark is very, very important. It's very important when we practice. Now, as humans, we don't have long attention spans. After 45 seconds, they begin to start to change and we start to lose interest in what we're watching, unless the background changes. The person you're listening to might change position to keep that engagement. Change my level. You might see this in presentations where the person giving the presentation walks up and down stairs. There is a sudden drastic change in the appearance or the talker of the person doing the presentation. That's why it's always handy to do presentations in twos. But what does this do? This allows us to tap into more of the brain's potential, which allows us to concentrate for up to 20 minutes. But how is this relevant to darts? And why am I going on about this? Prior to being a professional darts player, as a professional sports coach for about 10 years, worked at a couple of professional clubs and across various different primary schools and secondary schools across the county. Now, one of the things I bring up this for is because of this guy, Stuart Pearce. Did a seminar once with Stuart Pearce that he spoke for about 3 hours talking about man management and player management. And in that seminar, he says you're going to take away 5 minutes. 5 minutes that are relevant to you. Guess what 5 minutes I took? It was those 5 minutes. Taking this back to darts, it goes back to what that question we asked at the very start, doesn't it? How long should I practice in a day to progress and get better at darts? The answer is different for different people, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my research and my knowledge, because with my coaching background, it really got me interested, because obviously I want to unlock my full potential and be the best I can be, but also I want to help other people and coach those and unlock their full potential. We need to do some research and look at some stats, look at some figures, and look at how best to maximise our practice. Now, there's some myths out there, mostly because of Phil Taylor, who practiced massive hours, that we need to be doing 8 hours, 10 hours, massive hours to get to sports excellence. First of all, let's understand what sporting excellence is, and to do that we're going to use the sports development continuum. That's based upon 4 parts: foundation, participation, performance and excellence. Foundation is literally just getting into the game and learning pretty much levels 1 to 3 on the Edgar TV challenges, sort of just getting the fundamentals. Participation is just sort of pub levels where he's going out playing matches. Competing is performance, tournaments, county, things like that. And excellence is obviously up at PDC and in the elite areas of the game. One thing about the sports development continuum that's really interesting is it links very closely with the 10,000 hour 10-year theory, which is a theory that you can go and Google and have a look at. Some people love it, some people don't. It's a theory, but it says that over 10 years you do 10,000 hours of repetitive practice of intense training that will allow you to achieve sporting excellence. And I tell you what, actually, what's interesting about that theory is it works perfect with this guy, the current world #1 Michael van Gerwen. Michael van Gerwen first started playing darts at 13 years old. Michael van Gerwen first won a PDC major in 2012 when he won the World Grand Prix. Michael van Gerwen has said on multiple times in multiple interviews he practices around 2 hours a day of intense practice. And it just so happens that from the moment Michael van Gerwen started playing to the moment Michael van Gerwen first lifted the World Grand Prix Championship, we are roughly just a fraction under 10 years. So maybe we're starting to get our answer. Say that darts and achieving darting excellence in the practice needs to be a timed exercise. What if it was more to do with what we actually do on the practice board and how we use that time, rather than the time we put in. Take, for example, people that grew up in my generation especially, we went out and we played football on the park for hours on end. Unguided practice. But if unguided practice was good enough to work, wouldn't we all be in professional clubs by now? Just a little bit of food for thought there. And this theory is backed up by a research from Matthew Edgar from Plymouth University. Very good document, you can go out and find it, where he studied some guided and unguided and internal and external based practice sessions. So an internal based practice sessions where he got the players to really focus on the feel of the dart, the weight of the dart, the position, the throws, and he really worked on that area. The external factor was to focus on the board itself, so to pinpoint out really small areas, to focus on the doubles and to tunnel vision in. The stats were quite interesting actually, because when we did the external factors where we just relied on our action and actually focused on the targets a lot more, the score was 2.94, which actually beats the internal focus 2.25, a difference of 0.7 in the scores. It's quite a difference that is when we look at just focusing and letting the subconscious part of the brain take over and focusing on those external factors. Me and what I feel and what I think is the right thing to do. And as you probably guessed by now, I don't believe that practicing for really long hours are the way to go, and there's plenty of research that backs me up with that. I believe practice with intent, PWI, is the most important thing. Practicing with intent, you need a practice that has a purpose and a reason for success, and you have a reason for failure. That's why level 6 of my practice games is so successful and so hard for people to get past. You might get to 9 bullseyes, you miss, you go back to the start. That drop back criteria makes you not want to miss, replicates that feel of a game. That's what we need to be doing. We need to replicate that feel of a game. It might be 5-5 in a match. I might miss a dart at the double to win. My opponent goes out. I've lost 6-5 and back to the beginning. We need practice games that replicate that situation, because that's the only way you're going to replicate what happens in a game. This is the same as when people say to you, oh, I've hit 10 9-darters in practice, 12 9-darters in practice. It's not. What that is you hit a 180, you followed it up with a 180, and you followed it with a 1-4-1 finish. There was no start point and there was no finish point. This is the exact reason a lot of people will say to you, oh, I played really well in practice, I hit everything, but when I got to the match board, it didn't happen. Because when you was playing here, you weren't counting. There was no start, there was no finish criteria. As soon as you start the game, there's a start, there's a finish, there's a middle, there's an end. There's a lot of things going on. You need to be able to replicate that with your practice and switch that over into your game. Tiger Woods once famously said, there's no difference between me practicing my putt to me putting for a world championship. And that's what we've got to try and bring into the darts as well. Every dart needs to have a meaning or a purpose. And in our practice, we need to be replicating that. So to summarise and conclude, if anyone asks me how much should I practice, my first question would be, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be on that sports development continuum? Because it does make a big difference. If you're looking at the elite level, my answer is simple. 2 hours a day of solid practice. Practice with intent. Van Gerwen says intense practice. Practice with intent, practice with purpose. 2 hours a day, maximum. Think about what I said at the very start of this video, how our concentration levels dip in and out. You've got a maximum of 20 minutes, and that's if things are changing. Change up your games. Don't just stick to one game. Don't go, right, I'm going to go around the board on doubles. I'm going to go around the board again on doubles. By the time you've done that, you've lost your 20 minutes, you've gone. Change up your routines. Just like if you went to the gym, you'd change your routines all the time. 2 hours maximum. Anything you want to add to this, guys, bang it in the comment section. I'll happily answer your questions. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, subscribe to the channel because I want you to. Edgar TV. If you take a look at my playlists, and you'll see this Become a Darts Masters, where there's 10 levels, ending with Glenn Durrant giving you a boss battle at the end, each one increasing in difficulty, give you a few little drills and ideas that you could try at home to get that practice with intent. And that's not just it, I will be uploading plenty more other drills and activities that you can do at home to help you stay focused and get that practice with intent for your 2 hours if you want to come and join the elite level. Just hit that subscribe button and I'll be hitting those up over the coming weeks.